Hello there and welcome to this room review of the Hampton by Hilton in Budapest. I'm staying in a queen room here in this hotel, so let me show you what you can expect while staying in the room itself, but also what the breakfast looks like, what the lobby looks like, what you can see in and around the hotel, the position of the hotel in terms of the city as well. And probably the most important question, how much does it all cost? Wait until the very end of the video to find out how much it costs per night to stay in the Hampton by Hilton in Budapest. Hope you enjoy this video. So at first glance when walking in, I actually was quite deceived and thought that this is quite a small room. On the right hand side we've got this rather large mirror, and on the left hand side we've got a few hooks for coats, for jackets, and to be honest I actually think that this is quite a smart move by the Hampton by Hilton. It takes away shelf and storage space, but it actually gives a bit more depth to the room, and you'll actually notice as you turn around and see where the bed is that actually this is a fair size room. More than happy with the size that is given here. There's the queen bed just there, but then there's all this space up until the desk area and the TV. And also check out the size of that TV. I'm not even sure at this angle I can get it all in the frame, but that's pretty epic. Was watching it earlier on today. BBC World News is on there, which is good to get a bit of English. I haven't really looked through all of the channels, but as I say, it's a pretty nifty TV, and it's a good size. This desk area, it's not huge, but it's sufficient in itself. Pretty basic standard seat that's also included there. I'm not too sure whether people will be using this particular hotel for work, but there is at least something. And at this desk as well, there's a few power ports, and there's also a USB area as well, which is the old USB type. But fret not, I'll show you what the situation's like right by the bed. So this is the queen bed itself. I've already stayed one night here, so we can testify that the bed itself is extremely comfortable. I had a brilliant sleep last night. Of course, we'll do the softness test very shortly. But either side of the bed, you've got a bedside table each side. You've got a telephone. You've got a light on this side, and there's a small reading lamp that side. But you'll also notice that just here we've got two of the European plug sockets, but then just above it we've also got the both USB-C and USB-A, and that's also the same on the other side of the bed, which is fantastic really. It's a win-win. Views wise, this particular room, it's not great. It is a load of bird poo basically. Grills that side, and I guess it must be other rooms the other way. But one thing I will say that is absolutely fantastic that I found last night, these curtains really are blackout. When my alarm went off this morning, it was 8:30. We're coming into late spring, and I genuinely thought that I'd put the wrong time for my alarm, because it was just pitch black in here. Opened the curtains and it was, sun was shining, so that really is a win-win. And looking at the decor in the room as well, well, we're staying in Budapest. We've got some rather nice pictures of Budapest, rather nice drawings. It doesn't set the world on fire, but it's just a nice tone, a nice aesthetic. And also, just behind the bed, we've got a nice light there, just behind the headboard. And there's also a cushion that keeps the pillows up as well if you wanted to sit up and watch the TV. Now, as I mentioned, what this particular hotel have done is got rid of wardrobes and cupboards. So what they've actually done is made it open plan. And so the likes of the hangers for hanging up clothes, for coats, trousers is open plan, as mentioned. But that actually just gives more space and more depth to the room. And also, I quite like to see a storage place for your bags, for your suitcase. It's not great, is it, being or having to leave it on the floor, but with things like this, I just think that's fantastic. And now, one thing I also am a big fan of is actually having an iron board in the room itself. A lot of hotels have taken them out. A lot of them you have to call down to reception to get the iron and the ironing board. It's just a bit of an inconvenience for me. So to be able to have the ironing board, and the iron is just in this cupboard itself, it's a win-win. So really, you don't have to worry about meticulously ironing everything before you come. I don't know whether you're that type of traveller or not. I know for me, I am just the type who really rolls things up as tightly as possible. So when I get to the location, it really does need an iron. And so it's a godsend being able to see an iron and an iron board in the room. There's also a hairdryer in this particular cupboard as well. And another thing that I genuinely don't think there's enough of are fridges in rooms. And I think this is a Hampton by Hilton thing. I've stayed in other hotels by this chain, but again, it's just something that just makes life so much easier to be able to have a fridge within the room, especially if you're thinking about lunch for the next day. It's just a bit of a lifesaver. It's just a convenience that really is fantastic. And here we've got a tea making set. So we've got a kettle, we've got cups. I absolutely love these mugs as well, by the way. Better than the generic white mugs that you often get in hotels. But actually, more than anything, just the fact that we've got this in a European hotel is just something brilliant in itself. A lot of European hotels will not give you tea making facilities, they won't give you a kettle. So to even have this is just something that is fantastic. It's a real bonus. Now, what this hotel has also decided is to try and cut down on plastic waste. So in many Hilton hotels, they'll give you bottled water. Instead, what they've given is a refillable glass bottle. There's a water station just a little bit further away, just outside of the room, where you fill up the water and then bring it back. I've got mixed views on this. I think it's great that they're trying to get rid of plastic waste, and I do think that should be something that is encouraged. But it does also feel just a little bit as a money-saving excuse. And also it's the effort that's involved. I know it's not much, but it's just every time you want water, you've got to go out, you've got to go to the water station. But at the same time, it is good that they're trying to be considerate of the environment. So yeah, I've got mixed views. Comment below what you think on this. And of course, we've got the trusty safe, which again is quite a fair size. So that's a good bonus for security reasons. So that all-important question as to how comfortable is this bed? I've cheated a little bit because, as I say, I've already stayed one night here in this hotel, so I know that this is a very comfortable bed. But just to show you how comfortable it is, it's time for the all-important jump test. So, despite nearly breaking my nose, I can confirm that it's a very comfortable bed. You're going to be in for a really good night's sleep. So checking out the bathroom, what you'll find is it doesn't actually lock. We've got this sliding door. So there's privacy there. I suppose if you're staying with your partner, you might not be too bothered. But it's just something just to bear in mind that, yeah, this doesn't lock. It's not a door. Well, it is a door, but it's not a door with the handle. It does feel a little bit on the flimsy side. But that's to get into the bathroom, and this is the bathroom in itself. Not a bad size, not huge at the same time, more artwork there as well. We've got the vanity mirror just over there. And we've got Hilton's own brand, the Zero Naturally Kind formulation, hand wash and body lotion included. And we've also got the shower just there. And there's a few more of the own brand Zero shampoo, conditioner and shower gel there included. But the shower itself is quite a fair size. And what I've got to say as well is that this rainfall shower was really powerful, and it's a nice shower experience. Good water pressure from there, and we've got the controls just down here. And I don't know whether this will sound stupid, but you also don't need a PhD to know how the shower functions. I've stayed in some places and it's took me about 10 minutes to figure out how to work the shower. I don't know if that's just me, I don't know if I'm just stupid, but places like this, I actually appreciate just being able just to turn the handle and the hot water comes on, and that's what happens here. Now, slippers don't come as standard in this particular hotel, but if you do go down to the front desk, they'll happily provide them for you, and here they are in their own glory. But a top tip with this actually as well is Budapest is a city known for its thermal spas. There's the Széchenyi spa, which I visited, and you can check that out in my video reviewing Budapest itself. But one thing that spa particularly asks for is that you have slippers or flip-flops on you. It might be something that you're not able to take in your hand luggage with you, or you may have forgotten. But Hilton will quite happily provide these slippers for you, and you can take them with you to the spa, and you can save yourself a bit of money because the spa asks for a fee that you've got to pay for them. They will not lend them out or loan them to you free of charge. Looking at the location of this hotel, it's ideally situated on the pest side of the city within walking distance of many landmarks. For example, the Parliament building is a 15-minute walk and the Chain Bridge is under 20 minutes away. Even the Széchenyi thermal baths aren't too far out, though you may want public transport rather than to walk it. And here's a snapshot of the breakfast. There's cooked breakfast options as well as a continental breakfast. There's also some funky vegetable and pasta options which I'm not used to seeing on the breakfast menu. And the space for breakfast is light and informal, though it can get busy at peak times. So to sum this up, I'm a really big fan of the Hampton by Hilton as a chain, and this hotel here in Budapest really doesn't disappoint. It's allegedly Hilton's budget line, but to me, it does feel pretty classy. Okay, it's not gonna set the world on fire, but if you want somewhere as a base, and if you do want that little bit of luxury as well, look no further than really this hotel, the Hampton by Hilton. It's ideally situated, it's just a short walk from the riverside. There's plenty of restaurants, there's plenty of places to look around nearby. And as I've shown, you also get the breakfast included. It is a little bit funky, the breakfast. There's a few things in there that perhaps you might not be used to seeing on a breakfast table. You might also be missing some of the usual staples. And for it to be included in the price of a stay here as well, you really can't moan or grumble at that. There's also the gym, which is included on the first floor as well. It's quite a sizable gym. So all in all, this is a pretty good place and base to stay whilst in Budapest. But of course, that all-important question is how much does it cost to stay here in this hotel? So as I've mentioned, I'm staying here in late April. So it's coming up to the end of spring. But for a 3-night stay from Sunday, well, this cost £175. So under £60 per night. And as I mentioned, that's with breakfast included. And also, that was with a free cancellation right up until the day before the stay. It probably could have been cheaper if it had paid upfront. And for that price, absolutely can't grumble at that. It is well worth the money. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do me a favour and hit the like button below. And also, please subscribe to my channel. My next trip isn't too far away. and my next review is just around the corner as well. But until then, it's ciao for now. Bye.